Hey guys, we are alive. Thank you for joining us on another episode of El Mexican Soccer Podcast. I am your host of this evening. I'm Samara Perez, and let's get started. Let's welcome our guests. Before we have El Super Mojado, as always, joining us. Super, ¿cómo andas? Un poco desvelado.
Claro. What's up, guys? What's going on? Aquí ando paseándome en la costa este. Estamos recorriendo la costa este, but I'm here. I made it.
Eso, that's what we like to see. Hey, wake up. We got a lot of soccer to talk about. And also joining us, we have Fernando Garcia, who seems very, very happy over there. How are you, Fernando?
I am extremely happy. Finally, Pumas makes it to another final. The chances of them winning, I think, are very big. So I'm very excited and a little bit nervous.
Awesome. And thank you, everyone, for joining us. I know it's a little bit later than usual, but thanks for staying up with us. Today's episode 192. We're getting closer to that 200. It goes by so quick. But let's get started with today's show. We have lots and lots and lots to discuss. There's so much soccer, more than the usual going on, but we're going to go ahead and start with the breaking news that we found out earlier today about Michel Leaño de las Chivas is no longer the head coach. We found out earlier today that he was let go of his position after the defeat of Chivas against Rayados. Super, what can you tell us about that?
Well, it was something that we saw it coming for a long time. I'm surprised that it happened, until now. That is almost the end of the season. But yeah, I mean, Leaño never really got to have full control of the team. I would say he is a coach that has very little experience. And he never really played like professional soccer, and that's one thing where he used to get criticized a lot, because he was never really in a place where he knew what it felt like to be on the pitch, and they even there was rumors about where his own staff, right, his sus auxiliares, they would make comments as to that he didn't know what he was talking about because he never had to experience that. And like I said, I just think that it's for the best of the team. Perhaps he could have gone and coached other teams, not a team like Chivas. We all know that he's Amaury's friend, so that's why he got to be on that seat. But yeah, it was time.
So what do you think comes next for Chivas? Who would be a replacement for to be the new head coach?
Well, it's
in your opinion?
I think it's been they've been talks about that ever since before Leaño, right? Since he took the seat, that many coaches, they were throwing names like Almeida, like Turco Mohamed, a lot of names, right? And I think that Chivas in reality doesn't have the budget to bring un hombre ya alguien con experiencia, right? Somebody that has a lot of experience. I think that they've done that, and I think that it would be ideal if they can get somebody that played in the team, somebody that was like a star for the team, like Monchito Morales is a coach now. I believe Omar Bravo was coach. So there's a few names that they can probably use, and since they don't have a lot of fundings, that something like that would work, and just give it a shot. That's all we're asking for, somebody that feels the colors of that jersey and knows the tradition of this team. So I wouldn't be surprised if they go that route.
Fernando, what do you think? Do you think they should bring somebody who was a former Chivas player, or they should go a different route?
I don't know necessarily a Chivas player, but definitely someone really similar to Lilini's position in Pumas. Somebody who knows the team inside, somebody who's been working with the players or the upcoming players since they were younger and knows how they play, knows their ins and their outs. That's one of the things that Lilini does really well is he mixes the players from the cantera with the players that come to the team. So I think Chivas really needs to figure that out, how to get the cantera players and the transfers to play well together. And I think that's something Chivas hasn't been able to do in the past few years.
What about somebody like Larcamon? America wants him, and Puebla says he's not going to close the doors for him to let him go to other teams if he has the opportunity to do so. Would that be better in your opinion, Fernando?
I mean, better than Leaño, definitely. That's a fact. But we could have said the same thing about Vucetich, somebody who has a lot of experience, somebody who has coached important teams in Mexico, and even then he failed to give Chivas a better soccer. So what is it that the coaches can get to get Chivas to play better? So I think at this point what Chivas needs is somebody who knows the team in a very deeper level than these other experienced coaches do, like Camon, and even then he's not that experienced. He's only coached Puebla in Mexico. So for Chivas at this point, they don't need an experienced coach. They need somebody who knows the institution very well.
For you, Super, what about bringing in Larcamon? He, like Fernando said, he doesn't have that much of an experience, and he's working with the squad that, he didn't have much to work with, and look what he's doing. He's at the top of the table, top 4. Would he be an option?
Well, it would definitely work if he was to come, but I don't think it's gonna happen. The reason is, now he has done great things with a team like Puebla, so he's gonna be, the target for many teams that have a lot more money than Chivas right now, and I think that possibly that's the way that Larcamon is gonna end up going to a team like that. Somebody that's willing to pay what he has worked, that what he has, I guess, the price tag that he has made himself, because he's done great things with very little, jugadores. Yes, exactly. So, anyways, I just think that it could be a good option, but I don't see that happening.
Maybe America will be the one to snatch him up. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the round 13 results. We had round 13 already. We have a comment also before we move on to the next topic and take a look at the table. We have Luis Bravo saying Chivas should go after El Chelis.
No manches. Go to sleep, Luis Bravo, please. Anyways, no, I don't know. I don't think that Chelis was already used by Chivas in Chivas USA, right? I mean, I think that that's
right.
just I don't see that happening.
Let's take a look at the results. We have Thursday, Pachuca 2-1 defeat Tigres. That was a very interesting matchup with the top 2 offensives, Atlas versus Necaxa. Then we had Puebla, a tie with Pumas 2-2. Mazatlan and Cruz Azul also a tie 1-1. And we had Atletico San Luis and is that Santos? You mind backing me up right there, Super, with
Leon.
Leon, okay.
Yes. For round 13, it was Monterrey Santos. That's what it was. And then the Atlas game was a Atlas victory 2-1. And then Yeah, then Sunday and Monday we had Tigres 1-0 defeated Querétaro, and 0-0 Pachuca contra los Cholos.
So we have saludos from Gerardo Fisher, always joining us. Thanks for joining us, Gerardo. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the let's talk about the standings. Let's see where the teams are now. Standings, we have Pachuca at the top, Tigres in second position, then followed by Puebla and Monterrey, the top 14 teams. Then we have Atlas, Cruz Azul, León, Toluca, San Luis, Pumas, América, Tijuana, Santos, y pues de ahí we have Guadalajara, Necaxa, Querétaro, Mazatlán, and Juárez, all the way at the bottom. Now we have those two top teams, which is Pachuca and Tigres. Both of them have only lost 2 matches in the whole clausura, and it's coming to an end. Like it just feels like it goes by so fast. But Tigres have won 4 of the last 5 games. Super. ¿Cómo ves? Que you think the Tigres are going to be in the final, or are they contenders to the championship this time around?
Definitely. I mean, Tigres is a great team. Even despite that the Tuca Ferretti was no longer the coach, I think by bringing Miguel Herrera, a coach that has had like a lot of success throughout his career, and and he did great things with America. I mean, he was with America for a long time, in two sessions, but still, it was a long time, and I think that now he finally found that little, like, the formula that to get Tigres back on top. Back, Tuca Ferretti had a little lapse where he was not doing too good, and the team kind of like was irregular. So Miguel Herrera found that formula, and he is showing that they are a contender. That they're still there. They still have it. They have great players. They brought some acquisitions now. To el otro francés, Tauvin, siempre me falla el nombre del but he is gotten a rhythm that is really good, right? So now he's like showing us the quality that I think that he always has had, and that's why he's a world champion, right? He lifted that trophy with France, and now is Tigres is back on top. So they're definitely a contenders. I would not doubt that one.
Right, not quite at the top. Well, they're tied with points with Pachuca, but they only have 1 goal difference. Fernando, which of these 2 teams do you see maybe in the final, or maybe as champions, or who would you like to see them against?
I think I would like to see Pachuca as champions, just because they haven't made it that far in the past few years. I think the last championship was in 2017, 2018, something like that. And however, Tigres is doing really good. I haven't seen a Tigres this good since their last championship, which has also been a while. So definitely these 2 teams are hard contenders for the championship. I lean more a little towards Pachuca, but I also wouldn't forget Cruz Azul and Monterrey, who's also coming up with good soccer. So I would also throw America in there. Now that Solari's gone, I think maybe they could pick it up towards the end and end up being a candidate for the championship. So any of those teams, I think, could end up lifting the trophy.
What about Puebla? Maybe they come out as the surprise and end up champions, like the past Atlas and Cruz Azul, break the long streak of not winning.
I don't think so. I feel like Puebla in the last 4 games empezó a desinflar. it's clear that it wasn't just one game racha. It was like a 3 games lost, I think, and then the one against Pumas tied, and Pumas had their bench. They were saving.
They've only lost 2 games.
2 games. Okay,
just like Pachuca and Tigres, but they had a lot of ties and
yeah, and when Atlas won that championship, I think throughout the whole tournament they stayed a little more consistent. Puebla kind of stopped being consistent about 3 weeks ago, so I wouldn't even put them as a hard contender.
All right, let's go take a look at what the power rankings are over here at ETO and what everybody has considered their top teams to be. We have number 1, Tigres, number 2, Pachuca, 3, Cruz Azul, 4 Puebla, and 5 Atlas. So seems about right, the ones that we were just talking about. Anyone you would want to see up there, super, y que no sean las Chivas? Anybody that you think deserves to be up there?
No. Chivas is in first place, but from the in my rankings, anyways, from the bottom up.
In your heart.
And from the bottom up of the stands. No, I think that Monterrey, like Fernando said earlier, I think Monterrey has been doing great things. I mean, they're currently in 4th place in the standings. So since la llegada de Bucetich, the team it was a different team, and so I would put them as a contender to be fighting on the title, So in my rankings, I think I have them being number 3. So I would definitely have them there. As long as also like San Luis has been doing good, they're not in my opinion, anyways. They have done some great games, so I see them up there.
Let's talk about América, who are en una racha con el técnico interino Fernando Ortiz. They have won 3 games in a row, and the way that the Liga MX works, they're moving their way up the table. They have their first win streak of 3 games since October 2021. They just came back from defeating Juarez 3-0, and they haven't allowed any goals. So they might sneak their way in there and make it to the repechaje, make it to Liguilla. Where do you see this América going with Fernando Ortiz? Should they give him a chance to become the permanent head coach, Super?
Well, it's all gonna depend how he does in Liguilla. I mean, I think that and was able to get them out of the sótano, and it all depends. It all depends. Like I said, I mean, it depends about if they qualify. I mean, we're almost positive that they're gonna qualify for repechaje. But if they qualify to that Liguilla, that's where the real test is. And if they manage to do a good Liguilla, then perhaps they will give him a chance and, at least throw him another tournament.
Fernando, what do you think?
I think America is gonna make it all the way to semifinals. They've started playing better, like you said. They have a 3 game winning streak, and in the Mexican tournament, it doesn't matter how you start it. What matters is how you end it, and America's taking care of that. They're showing that they're improving. Their soccer is getting better, but I don't think they're gonna make it to the final just because there's other contenders like Tigres and Pachuca that are way stronger than America. So I think they're gonna make it to the semifinal. And for me, after the start of the tournament, that should be a good performance in regards to Fernando Ortiz. So I think they should keep him for the next season, just based on what if they make it to Liguilla, I think they should keep him to for the next season just because of what he did towards the end of the tournament.
Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at what's coming up for round 14. And the matches right now, there's already Atlas against Mazatlan playing, which Atlas is losing, by the way, 2-0. We also have Necaxa.
San Luis.
Okay, Necaxa San Luis. We have Juárez Pachuca. We have Tijuana con las Águilas, León against Puebla, Tigres against Toluca, Santos, Querétaro, Cruz Azul, Chivas, Pumas, Monterrey. We have some very interesting matchups as we head towards almost the end. What's the most interesting one that catches your attention, Fernando?
I think that one's gonna be León against Puebla. Well, Cruz Azul Chivas also, but Chivas I feel like it's not doing so well, so it loses a little attractiveness. But Puebla and León is just a really good game for Puebla to show that they're not falling into the cracks, and it's a good game for León to show that they're coming up again, because I feel like they've also been slowing down. So those two are my top games of the weekend.
Y para ti, Super?
I'm surprised. I'm really surprised that Fernando didn't choose Pumas. Pumas is playing against Monterrey. I think that's a good game. That right there is a good game. And also I think that Chivas Cruz Azul, because now with the departure of Leaño, I think that they name el coach de Tapatio as interino, and he's been doing good things with Tapatio. So I really hope that he does a good job, for the remainder of the tournament, and that at least he can get the team to repechaje and end the season with respect at least.
Since Fernando didn't choose it, I was gonna go ahead and say Pumas against Monterrey, but also I've been saying for the last 3 shows that I still want to see how America continues to perform. They expect a lot out of America, so I'm gonna keep an eye out on them. And
no, por favor, Samara, don't fall into the darkness. Estabas bien cuando dijiste que le ibas a las Chivas.
No, I'm not saying I'm supporting. I'm just saying I want to see how they're gonna do. How they're gonna perform, if they're gonna keep going, keep climbing up. But
they have a Tijuana as challenge this week, so I think they should be okay. I mean, I don't think that's a game that people are really excited to see.
But right,
they
but
should
the thing
have
is that
easy.
They've been playing against teams like Mazatlan. They've been playing against equipos de media tabla para abajo. So it's like, okay, I want to see them face like the last 3 games for them is going to be against it's going to be a challenge. So
I was about to say that.
Those are going to be good as well. And speaking of America, we have Luis Bravo saying, America será el campeón. Ochoa not receiving in national team and club level. Vamos por la 14. They haven't allowed any goals so far in these games under Ortiz.
I think America's in a momentum where they're growing, and they're getting better. And Cruz Azul is kind of going down after the Conca Champions semifinal. So the last jornada, if I'm not mistaken, is America against Cruz Azul. And I'm wild enough to think that America is going to take that game, and it's going to end up securing their stay in repechaje, in the top 4 teams of the repechaje.
Let's go do predictions really quickly. Necaxa San Luis, Super, and then Fer.
Oof, I'm gonna say a tie there, 1-1.
I think Necaxa is gonna win 2-1.
I'm gonna go with Necaxa 1-0. Okay, next Juárez Pachuca, Super.
Oof, you know what? Juárez hasn't been doing good there the last in the standings, but I think that they're gonna tie Pachuca.
Come on, Super. Pachuca los va a golear 3-0.
I'm gonna go 2-0. Okay, Tijuana, América. Super.
1-1.
América 2-0.
1-0 América. Ok, León Puebla.
2-1 León.
1-1.
1-1 también. Ok, Tigres Toluca.
3-1 Tigres.
Toluca detiene a Tigres, so 2-1 Toluca wins.
We're gonna go Tigres 2-0. Toluca's been like very inconsistent, so I don't know. I don't think they're gonna be able to take Tigres. Okay, Santos and Querétaro.
Santos 2-1.
Santos 3-1.
Santos 2-1. Ok, Cruz Azul, Chivas.
Entrenador que debuta gana, dicen, right? So 2-1 Chivas.
Cruz Azul 3-1.
Cruz Azul 2-0. Y last one, Pumas, Monterrey.
3-1 Monterrey.
2-0 Monterrey.
2-0 Pumas.
Wow.
Okay.
Ojalá.
Okay, let's go ahead and invite everyone to tune in to the next episode of El Mexican Soccer Podcast. We have episode 193 coming up. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. We're going to take a water break. We are back wanting to invite you to play the Liga MX Fantasy Pick'em. As always, we have a winner announced every week and it's totally free to play. All you have to do is sign up at el3online.com and make your predictions. So every week, go ahead and make your predictions and that way you can win a prize. It's fun, it's free, and you could do this every week. So go ahead. You only got a few more weeks to play and we got some good prizes there for you. So we are back and let's talk about Pumas. Pumas in the CONCACAF Champions League that defeated Cruz Azul and officially advanced to the final. Fernando, tell us all. This is your space to go ahead and talk about how excited you are for this after 17 years.
Well, it's definitely exciting. It did come as a surprise because after after Pumas got the red card, I thought Cruz Azul was gonna end up scoring 2 or 3 goals just because they had 30 minutes with the advantage of having one man up. But Cruz Azul being Cruz Azul ended up not scoring. And I do give props to Lilini and the team because they're showing that garra that for so many years was lost. I think they're finally being able to bring back that pasión and garra that characterized Pumas for so many years. And I do think that they're motivated enough to beat Seattle. It's gonna be a tough 2 games, but I believe they have what it takes to get crowned champions.
Super. Would Pumas finally be able to break la racha mala que traen todos los mexicanos, Seleccion Mexicana, against the MLS? Or will Pumas be the one to make Liga MX proud?
First of all, let me ask the producer if he can just zoom out on Fernando so his smile can fit in the camera. But then you know what? Let me just take that smile right off his face. I see Seattle finally sending an MLS team to La Conca Champions, right? I mean, since Conca Champions became Conca Champions, it's now the first time that the MLS team is gonna make it over there. I don't see Pumas defeating Seattle, and I think I just think that it's gonna be a good series, but Seattle it's a tough team, and I don't think Pumas has what it takes to defeat them.
Defiéndete, Fernando.
Well, that's what they believed when Pumas played New England Revolution, and the same thing when they played Cruz Azul. So I don't see why this has to be any different. Pumas ya se acostumbró a callar bocas, and callar la boca super. I don't think it's gonna be that much of an issue. But Pumas, they do have to aprovechar las oportunidades cuando jueguen en CU. That's gonna be the key. That's gonna be an important factor for Pumas to win the championship. They have to finish the la final at home. That's gonna be very important.
Well, I do hope that Pumas finally breaks the mala racha que traen los mexicanos. And speaking of Mexicans, we did have El Trafico take place, LA Galaxy against LAFC, the top two Mexicans in the league, Carlos Vela against Chicharito, and Chicharito was kind of the one who outshined Vela this time around. How was the game? Who was able to watch it? Which player did you like better? Obviously, Chicharito scored, but for you, how was the meetup super between these two?
It was a good game. I did have the opportunity to watch it. They actually, I believe, Vela scored two goals, I believe, right? But they got, they just los anularon because of offsides. One of them was not offsides. I think the header, it was very questionable. So I think that they got criticized. The bar got criticized because I think it was a legitimate goal. But it was like when you put the rivalry against Chicharito versus Vela, it was really, really exciting because Vela responded right away, despite that he got his goal didn't count, and Chicharito scored a beautiful goal. I mean, he shows us every time how he is that type of player that knows how to position himself, right? And even though that sometimes he has a lot of luck, he's a very lucky player. Es un cazagoles con suerte. I just, like I said, es como un don que se le da a algunos jugadores, right? That they're at the right place at the right time. And Chicharito has that. And that's what happened during this game, where he scored a really, really nice goal. I mean, I loved the whole game, overall. And Galaxy, I mean, they won it right. It's at the end of the day, there is always errors con el VAR o sin VAR. There's always mistakes by referees, and it's part of the game, right? So I think that it was definitely a good game, and Chicharito gave that another message to la Selección Mexicana. I'm here. And there was a lot of talks after that, so we'll go off. I think we're gonna talk about that after, but it was a good game.
Fernando, did you get a chance to watch? I know Carlos Vela is one of your favorites, if I'm not mistaken.
I was actually able to go to the game. I was there, and
you did say you were gonna go, yeah.
Yeah, and this was my very first MLS game, being at the stadium, and I actually loved it. I was mostly excited. I was more excited to see Vela, but he disappointed me a lot. Actually, it kind of looked, I don't know if it's just me, but it kind of looked like he was going through the motions, like como que no le echaba ganas. And then you have on the other side Chicharito, that he runs, he fights for every ball, no da una por perdida. Se cansa corriendo todo el campo, and I think even though he's not as skilled as other players, us fans appreciate the fact that he never gives up, that he's always chasing after a ball, and then he's always positioned right, like Super said. Está donde debe estar, and that's how you score goals. And in regards with Vela, I don't know if it's because he just came out on a bad day, or like we've discussed this before, it's not his favorite sport, or I don't know what's going on with Vela, but he just did not look motivated at all. He just looked like he was going through the motions, which was kind of upsetting.
He had a good game. I think that he had a good game. I mean, there was that factor of luck. Remember that luck. There's sometimes you do need that. I mean, one of his goals was legítimo. El otro, yes, he was an offside, but he scored twice. So I mean, I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know.
If he's gonna play, if you think that he's gonna play desganado, sin ganas, and he scores 2 goals, even if they don't count, hey, I want more players like that, man. That scored 2, 3, 4, 5 goals in one game.
Maybe it's just the fact that I was comparing him, or I was seeing Chicharito, and las ganas que tiene de jugar. So I think in comparison, it was kind of a big contrast. And there was one, I just felt like he wasn't running. Maybe the perception that I have from when I saw him with la Selección Mexicana in el Mundial is just completely different now. So maybe, well, he's getting older, so who knows? Who knows?
It's just that you have that thing that where they say, no los compares, mi chavo, disfrútalos, right? They both have their own styles. I think that Vela, he just has that magic. He doesn't have to run like Chicharito really fast and go and fight, and because he has that talent, man. He could finish a game in 2 steps, right? And he could not run the whole game, but then he pulls out that magic and shoots from like the top corner, top 18, and score a beautiful goal. That's Vela. That's just his style. I think that like Chicharito, his style as well is that player that goes and fights and runs, and because that's what he does.
I'm gonna follow him closely now, and I do hope to see that. I hope to see Vela scoring goals and performing like we kind of like he has us used to.
That's what you have to do, man. You have to watch his games. You gotta start right there.
I mean, since he came from Europe, I kind of stopped following him as much as I did, and maybe that's my mistake. But what I remember from Vela was not there. But I mean, that's all I can tell you.
Vela and LAFC took their first loss of the season against LA Galaxy, and they stand at 13 points, first in the West, and LA Galaxy is at second in the West with 12 points. And we do have a comment from Ramon Chavez, who says LAFC should have won that game, and he says Chicharito over Vela. Shrugged. All right. And speaking of Chicharito, like you mentioned earlier, Super, he keeps giving the hints like, hey, I'm here, call me. And they did ask him, as always, if if he's wanting to be called up to the Mexican national soccer team. And the thing that he said, he was like, well, the day that I don't want to play for the Mexican national soccer team anymore is the day that I'm going to stop playing soccer, that I'm going to retire. So I think that's a very strong message to Tata, who was also asked the question. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later on as well. Thoughts, Super?
Well, what they really asked him was for him to clarify that, to basically, like, I'm being straightforward with you, Chicharito. What happened? Why are you suspended? Why was there a punishment on your part? Who do you have the beef with? He was like straightforward, this reporter. I like that. I like that. And Chicharito, as the professional that he is, he didn't bite the el anzuelo, and he was very, very professional. I said, listen, I'm not retired. I'm here. I'm gonna do my best. My grandfather told me this. My father told me this one time, where if you want to be in la selección, you have to be the best, one of the best players in your team, and focus. Put all your energy in that, because that's how you're gonna get to la selección. And basically, he put it on Tata's. He put the ball on Tata's side of the field, right, where he said, "I'm doing my part now. It doesn't depend on me anymore. It's basically, that's what I took. It's all about the coach. I'm doing what I have to do. I'm one of the best players in my team. Y lo que no dijo esta vez, soy una leyenda. That's where now I see the change. He's not as cocky as when he came over to la MLS. He's concentrating on what he has to do and displaying soccer and scoring goals. That's how you get at Tata. And he got at him because he answered that question. We'll talk about it later, but he did.
And Fernando, what do you say about this Chicharito who's proving himself on the field and is still not getting a call up because that situation that they say happened? It's an internal situation. So should he just kind of let go of his pride and talk to Tata, or what should he do if he really wants that spot?
Well, this whole situation is still confusing to me. I don't know if the problem is with Tata or with certain players or with La Federación, but I think at this point, Chicharito's aware that he's not gonna go to Qatar. He has it, out of his mind. And I think the fact that he's playing good is because he knows that he's still young enough to be called up for future games after Qatar once Tata is out. He's only 33 years old. And like he said at some point, he's a leyenda. He at least needs to be able to come back to La Selección and retire peacefully. So I do see Chicharito coming back to La Selección at some point. Maybe not before Qatar, maybe not for Qatar, but he will. And I think that's what he's focusing on. So I give him a lot of props at the fact that even though he's not getting called up, he's still playing good. Any other player would probably get unmotivated. They probably would get, depressed or whatever it is. And that could potentially affect his game, but it's not. So I do appreciate that from Chicharito's part. And I really do hope we see him in the future.
And for Tata, what they asked him, kind of like the same question, like why isn't Chicharito here? Is it because of what he's proving himself on the field? So why is he not here? And Tata said that the reason why he's not in the Mexican national soccer team is because the head coach hasn't called him up, which is himself. So
I love the fact that he was talking about himself as a third party. Hasta para eso no tuvo los, para decir, yeah, it's because of me. I don't want to call him. I don't like the way he plays. Just say it. I'll have more respect for you, Tata.
But it's not that. It's not because he doesn't like the way he plays.
He does. Nothing. That's why.
That has nothing to do with it.
He has never liked the way Chicharito plays. That's the bottom line. He has una formación. He has a style. He doesn't fit in su esquema. That's why he's not there.
Well, so I don't know. So weeks ago, you kept saying that it was because there was internal problems and all of that. And now you're saying,
well, it's a combination, Fernando. But I'm trying to tell you exactly why. I'm trying to put myself in Tata's mind. And yes, the los conflictos que hubo son. It's a good como cover up, because ever since he showed up, he just doesn't like playing with Chicharito.
No, I don't think that's it. I think Tata was just praying that Chicharito was gonna start playing bad, and then he would have a justification as to why he was not calling him. But Chicharito's still playing good, and then that just makes Tata look even more stupid than what he already is. I don't think it has to do with him not liking his style of play.
Well, that's the thing. In su esquema, Fernando, he doesn't fit Mira, he already has a way that he likes to play with the names that he has, right? I mean, tell me, who do you take out of his schema to put Chicharito in there?
Cool.
All right, guys. Let's go ahead and take a look at the schedule for the Mexican national soccer team and their upcoming summer tour. They do start this month against Guatemala. They're going to be playing in Orlando, Florida, at Camping World Stadium. Then there's against Nigeria in Dallas. All these matches are going to be in the U.S. So there's Dallas May 28th. Then there's Mexico versus Uruguay at State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona. That's going to be on June 2nd. Then Mexico versus Ecuador on June 5th at Soldier Field in Chicago, Illinois. And last but not least, for the summer tour in preparation to the World Cup 2022 is Mexico versus Paraguay at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia on the 31st of August. Now, speaking of that, lineups and all that preparation, which of these teams is the one that would be the most challenging, or what's the best opponent for them, Fernando?
I think the only one that's challenging there is Uruguay, and that's the only one that I'm excited to see. But other than that, I think this preparation it's mediocre. I don't understand why they're playing Guatemala. I don't understand why they're playing Paraguay. I guess Ecuador, I kind of understand it. I do like a little Nigeria a little bit, but it's upsetting not seeing European teams. I'm hoping they're still gonna add more games, but this looks like preparation for Copa America or something like that, not for a World Cup.
Super.
Hey, I'm not surprised. We're used to seeing this. We're used to this. So, hey, if you can, get teams like Uruguay to play with you, I guess that's the best. If that's the best that we got, that's what we got. And we just got to face this, as it comes and try to make the best of it.
So best opponent Uruguay, kind of a similar playing style as Argentina, and I don't know, maybe Nigeria as Saudi Arabia or Guatemala. I don't know. But there is a game that they said that it's going to happen maybe in September, but that's still yet to be confirmed. This is what we have, the Mex Tour in the United States. These are the matches. And then they're coming fairly quickly. It's already April, so we're going to be seeing the one against Guatemala in a few weeks, a few days.
That's what I don't understand. I heard that for Guatemala, he was going to be calling up people that he doesn't usually call up for the La Eliminatoria, so for the World Cup. So who is he trying to prepare? What is he trying to do?
So definitely Marcelo Flores is going to be on the list for Guatemala. But yeah, I don't know.
That's my question. Why are you gonna call Marcelo if you're not gonna call him up to the World Cup? Like, what's the point of giving him a chance against Guatemala if it doesn't cross his mind to take him to the World Cup? If he's gonna go to that game, I expect him to take him to the World Cup, but I don't think he will.
Super, do you think the same?
I think it's in his mind that he's gonna have to try to take somebody else, and why not this kid that now he's getting the opportunity in the first team in Arsenal. I mean, if he does good things during this friendlies, he possibly will take him.
So what if he just calls him up for the Guatemala match and he does good? Would he be calling him up for the rest of the preparation matches that are actually for the preparation for the World Cup?
Well, now the other thing is we have to see if Arsenal is willing to allow him to come over. Remember, it's not FIFA. It's not a FIFA
window.
Window. So he might not even be here.
Super, you're giving me the vibe that you're starting to be okay with what El Tata is doing, and that's concerning.
Martin,
I don't know si ya te lavó la cabeza el Tata o qué pasó, Super Bowl. You seem pretty okay.
Well,
All
listen,
right.
man, we gotta make the best of it.
Yeah, super like it is what it is. We have Martin saying that Marcelo should go to the World Cup even if he is just a bench. But guys, that's all the time we have for now. Final words. Super.
It's a pleasure, guys.
All right.
Arriba los Pumas.
Short and sweet. Arriba los Pumas. Eso, los vamos a ver en la final. In the CONCACAF Champions League final against Seattle Sounders. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us once again. I know it's a little bit late, so we're going to let you guys go to sleep, get some rest. We'll see y'all here next Thursday, April 21st, for another episode. Hasta la próxima.